All right, shalom, shalom to everyone out there. Shalom. Hopefully that y'all can hear me. Microphone check, 1, 2. Okay, shalom to everyone out there once again. All right, so let's get this started by giving all honor, thanks, praise, and glory to our Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, in which is the Most High, and the Son of Christ, and who this world and society foolishly and ignorantly deems Jesus. Secondly, shalom and love to all of the brethren and sisters out there who's doing the work of the Most High, who's making time for it, who's spreading His truth to all of our people out there with eyes to see, ears to hear, and a mind to understand, preferably towards the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians of Negroid descent only. Once again, this is your brother AhYahShaRahChazaq from the sea souls of Israel, the rocks of offense, and also the ambassadors for righteousness, the restorers of paths, and the repairers of the breach. Once again, dropping you another video. So brothers and sisters, what this video is going to be about is how your worldly riches and your resource storage is not going to grant you salvation, man. Right? Your worldly riches, which is your money, and your resource storage, which is your food and your water, it's not going to get you salvation. Right? So what sparked me to do this video is that unfortunately you have a lot of so-called Christians, which is supposedly followers of Christ, right? And also people within our faith, people who believe in keeping the laws, statutes, the commandments of the Most High. They believe in the Most High, the God of Israel, the God of the Bible. They believe in the real, authentic Christ of Nazareth, right? They believe in all of these things in which they claim, but they still talk about and spread the doctrine of stocking food and water, okay? Overstocking their storage rooms, overstocking their garages, right? They're talking about working extra hours on a job to save up all of this money because it's going to grant them salvation. It's going to save them out of their days of calamity, right? And that's not scriptural, man. Especially if you're of this faith, man. You can't honestly believe that whatever you stock up and store in your garage, in your storage room, or all of the money that you save up in your bank account is going to grant you salvation, man. Not in this society, right? If you think about it, all of the money that goes in and out of your bank account, right, it's all electronically. It's all electronically done, which is, just a few clicks of a few buttons on a keyboard, man, right? So if this government was to get sincerely wicked towards its people, and they honestly wanted to take everything that you had out of your bank account, the only thing it's going to take is a click of a few buttons. That's all it's going to take. If you got over 17,000 in your bank account, guess what? The only thing that they got to do is just click a few buttons, and that can go from 17,000 to 0 in less than seconds, man. Right? And also think about this. You want to tell people to stockpile their food, right? Get all of this water, stock some canned goods or whatever, some canned meats, some canned vegetables, right? And that's going to save you when all hell breaks loose. But think about it. If this society was to sincerely, like all hell was to break loose in this place, right? There's no food, there's no water, right, to sustain people's lives. Do you think people is going to honestly let you reside safely and peacefully in your household, knowing that you have all of this food stocked up, all of this water stocked up in your garage? You honestly think that you're going to just be chilling up in your house peacefully, safely, quietly, when people around here walking around starving, thirsty, haven't drank anything in days, haven't eaten anything in days, haven't taken a bath, right? But they have a whole lot of guns and they have a whole lot of knives, and they're on the hunt. They're looking for things to eat. They're looking for things to drink. And if they happen to know that you have all of this stuff in your house, right, you think that you're going to be residing up in there peacefully and safely and quietly while they just waltz around you and just don't bother you? And they're hungry. They haven't eaten in days or drank anything in days, man. But here you are. You have a whole bunch of water in your house. You got a whole bunch of canned goods. Okay? You think them people ain't going to run up in your house? right? So it really don't make no sense for our people to tell others to stockpile their food, man, and save all of this money up, invest in all of these things to make more money because you think that that's going to save you out of your day of calamity. That's not true, man, and it's not scriptural, right? You can't be a firm believer in this Bible and a firm believer in the God of the Bible, man, the God of Israel, okay, and a true follower of Christ, going around telling people to stockpile their food, man. Now, don't get me wrong, it may help for a little bit, okay? But we're talking about in dire situations, man, when all hell is breaking loose everywhere and no one have no running water, no one have no food, they don't have no money, right? Their cars is not operating because they can't get any gas. There's no electricity. So people going to take to the streets, man, right? And anywhere they find where there's a stockpile of food, guess what? They running up in your house, man. Guns blazing and knives swinging, okay? So you're not going to be residing peacefully if hell was to break loose in this place, man. So it's totally senseless to tell people to stockpile food. That's why AhYahShaRahChazaq tell us to take it day by day, man. The next day have its own evils in itself. Okay, so you don't have to worry about stockpiling food and saving all of this money, in which the government, they could just do a few clicks of buttons and take all of that money electronically away from you, man. Okay, so this is the reason why I decided to do this video, because there's a lot of people that's within this faith and so-called religious Christians. They're telling people that the only way that you're going to survive if all hell was to break loose is stockpile food and work extra money, extra hours on your job to make extra money, man, right? And that's not biblical. That's not what's going to save you out of your day of a calamity, man, right? So the first scripture that I'm going to go to is in the book of Proverbs, chapter 22. Right? To drive these points home, man, because, you're giving people senseless hope by telling people to stockpile their food and save all of this money because, it's going to be a defense in your day of calamity. Now, don't get me wrong. I do realize in the scriptures, it does say that money is a defense, and it will protect you in your day of calamity. But what if this place goes to a cashless society? Okay, that money is not going to mean anything, right? And then everything is going to be controlled electronically. And if they sincerely want to control you, the only thing they have to do is just, click a few buttons and take all your money away from you, right? Unless you bow down to their will, which is to the will of Satan, right? The devils, the deceivers. Okay, if you do something like that, then you might be well off in this society. But on top of that, just like Christ said, what is it for a man to gain the whole world and lose his spirit? Okay, cast your soul into hell. All right, and that's where you're going to be headed, man. If you bow down to the Baphomet, just to have the luxuries of this society and live peacefully in a sinful world, then that's where you're going to be bound to, man. You're going to be bound to hell. You're going to be bound to doing the devil's will, man. Okay. So once again, we're in the book of Proverbs, chapter 22, and I'm going to start at verse 1. And it reads, "A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches." Okay, a good name, all right? Who are you going to have that good name with? Well, first and foremost, it's going to be the Most High and AhYahShaRahChazaq, right? And then secondly, you're going to have people within your faith. They're going to see that you're producing fruits. They're going to see that you're walking in righteousness. You're keeping the laws, statutes, commandments, right? All of the high holy days, okay? That's the good name that you're going to have, all right? So as it says here again, a good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, and love and favor rather than silver and gold, okay? Your silver and gold can fall in the category of your storage. Okay, you're stockpiling. You think that that's going to be a good defense to you rather than your food and your water, right? But right here it says a good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, and love and favor rather than silver and gold. Who are you going to get that love and favor from? From the Most High. And the reason why you're going to get that from the Most High is because He's going to see that you're truly, firmly believing in Him and trusting in Him to save you out of your calamities and your trials and tribulations, man. Just in case all hell was to break loose. All right, verse 2. The rich and poor meet together. The Most High power is the maker of them all. Okay, so not you, not all right, not the controllers of this government in this society that makes the rich and the poor. It's the Most High that does that, man. Okay, so you can't place all of your faith and your trust in this government, in this society. You have to put your trust in the Most High power, man, which is the God of the Bible, the God of Israel. Okay, verse 2 again from the top. The rich and the poor meet together. The Most High power, in which is written right here, the Lord, right, is the maker of them all right, the rich and the poor. Okay, let's go to the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 2. Okay, so in the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 2, and I'm going to start at verse 2, and it reads, There is none holy as the Most High power, for there is none beside thee, neither is there any rock like our God, which is our power, right? Verse 3. Take no more so exceedingly proudly, all right? So he's telling you, talk no more exceedingly proudly, right? Don't go around telling people you have this and that in the bank. You have over 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 saved up for your day of calamity. Don't go around telling people that you have a garage full of water, a garage full of canned goods, foods, and all of that, right? You're going to be saved if all hell breaks loose. You ain't got to worry about nothing, right? So that's what you call talking exceedingly proudly, right? Verse 3 again, in continuation. Let not arrogancy come out of your mouth, for the Most High power is a God, all right? A power of knowledge, and by Him actions are by the Most High power, actions are weighed, not by you, not by your government, okay, not by the controllers of this society, by the Most High power, right? Verse 4. The bows of the mighty men are broken, and they that stumbled are girded with strength. Okay, so you're girded with strength. You got all of your, your pride around you. You got all of your resources around you, right? You're arrogant because of it. Okay, but what does the Most High says right here, man? The bows of the mighty men are broken. Okay, so in today's sense, that would be speaking about your weapons, all right? Your weapons of war, your pistols, your guns or whatever, your AR-15, right? Your AK-47s and all of that. Okay, your Glock 40s, your Glock 45s, all of that. Your 39s, your 38s, your 357 Magnum, Saturday night specials, right? You got all of our people, they have all of these weapons, and they think that it's going to save them in the day of their calamity, right? It's going to protect them, okay? But what does the Most High says right here again, verse 4 in the book of 1 Samuel chapter 2? The bows of the mighty men are broken, and they that stumble are girded with strength. So you're going to have all of your weapons on you, man. You're going to be filled with all of that water that you stored up in your storage house. You're going to have all of that money in the bank, right? You're going to have all of this so-called protection around you, right? But the Most High says this, man. They that stumbled are girded with strength. Verse 5. They that were full have hired out themselves for bread. Okay, you sold yourselves out for bread, man, right? And they that were hungry ceased, so that the barren have borne 7, and she that have many children is waxed feeble. Okay, so this is like AhYahShaRAChazaq says, woe to them that give suck in these days. So in these perilous times, man, in these last days, it's not really good to have children. You got to recognize what's going on around you, man. What times we're living in right now. It's not joyous times, man. Even though on mass media and on the news, they're going to portray like everything's fine and dandy, and it's just business as usual. People lives is going on as usual, but it's really not like that, man. A lot of people are really suffering out here right now, man. Right? You got the inflation happening. Okay, you got the gas price going on, the price of food going up, the prices of rent and mortgages going up. Right? Even your car note is going up. Your car insurance is going up. Everything is going up except the paycheck, man. Right? And then on top of that, there's a lot of people getting fired. Okay, so everything is going up except the paycheck, and then you got people out here getting fired, right? Getting kicked out of their homes, getting kicked out of their apartments. The cars is being repoed, right? But they're not showing all of this on the mass media because they don't want to create like a mass hysteria or something like that, right? But all of this stuff is going on, man. Okay, verse 5 again. They that were full have hired out themselves for bread, man. So don't be fooled, man, by what you see on mass media, right? You have all of these so-called celebrities, which is a derivative of the word celebrate, right? So that's basically what you're doing. You're idolizing, man. You're celebrating these people who's claimed to be celebrities, right? So this is what they do, man. They fool you and they make it seem like they're living the life. Everything is good. There's no trials and tribulations going on in the world. The Most High's judgments is not in the world, right? But it's all lies and deception, man. This is what they want you to believe so they can get you caught up in a corner, in a snare, so to speak, right? Verse 5 again from the top. They that were full have hired out themselves for bread, and they that were hungry ceased. Okay? So that the barren have borne 7, and she that have many children is waxed feeble. Okay? Verse 6. The Most High killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. So that's right there. Once again, that's another reiteration that's letting you know that the Most High is in control of all things, man, right? Verse 7. The Most High maketh what? Poor, and maketh rich. He bringeth low and lifteth up. Okay, so why are you trusting in your riches, man? Why are you trusting in this government, in this society? Okay, you need to be trusting in the Most High, especially if you're of the faith, man. You're supposed to be trusting in the Most High. You're supposed to be trusting in these scriptures, man. Even for you so-called religious Christians out there, if you claim to be followers of Christ, man, that's not fence straddling and wavering, then you're supposed to be trusting in these scriptures right here, man. You shouldn't be trusting in your money that you have in your bank account, in your stockpile that you have in your garage or your storage room, man, right? Verse 7 again. The Most High power maketh poor and maketh rich. He bringeth low and lifteth up. Verse 8. He raiseth up the poor out of the dust and lifteth up the beggar from the dunghill, okay, which is basically rock bottom, so to speak, right? That's symbolic for rock bottom. To set them among princes and to make them inherit the throne of glory, okay? For the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, which is the Most High powers, and he have set the world upon them. All right, so for the world season, you pretty much should know what that means, right? Verse 9. He will keep the feet of the saints. Okay, who's the saints? That's the hopeful 1/3 elect, the ones who's keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, man, right? And the wicked shall be silent in darkness. Who's the wicked? The ones who's not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. The ones who's enticing people that the laws are done away with. They can live however they want. They can dip and dab into all of these other false religions and philosophies and ideologies of the world, man, right? That's what you call your wicked, right? Verse 9 again. He will keep the feet of his saints, and the wicked shall be silent in darkness, meaning they ain't going to know what the hell to do, right? They're going to be flabbergasted, right? When someone run up in their house and take all of the food and all of the water that they have up in their garage and their storage room, right? They're going to be flabbergasted when they go check their ATM and come to find that they have 0 in there, right? Someone done clicked a few buttons and took all of your money out of your account, right? So you're going to be in darkness because of that, because you thought that that's going to save you out of your days of calamity, right? But this is what the Most High says here again, man, verse 9 from the top. He will keep the feet of his saints, and the wicked shall be silent in darkness. For by strength shall no man prevail, okay? By your own strength, by your own wits, okay? Your own might, all right? Your own vain, false ideals, right? You're not going to prevail, man. Only the Most High controls who prevail and who don't prevail, right? Let's go back to the book of Proverbs, chapter 22. And I'm going to start at verse 4. And it reads, by humility and the fear of the Most High power are riches and honor of life. Okay, so if you fear the Most High, you're going to do what the Most High says, right? It's like if you fear your parents. Whatever your parents send out a decree in the household, you're going to do whatever that decree says, right? You're going to do what your parents say, okay? Even if you're on your so-called gig, working for your oppressors, right? If they send you a decree, if they give you an order on a job, they're going to say, hey, I want this done or such and such done by 3 o'clock today. You're going to do it, right? Why? Because you fear your oppressor. You fear that boss. You fear that he's going to lay you off if you don't do it. With the parents, you fear your parents if you don't do what they say. They're going to lay that rod to that ass, right? So that's what you do. When you fear the Most High, you do what the Most High says. What the Most High tells his people to do, which is the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians of Negroid descent. He tells us to be holy, to be a set-apart people from the world and keep his laws, statutes, and commandments, right? Verse 4 again. By humility and the fear of the Most High power are riches and honor of life. Okay, so that's your true riches, man, right? Let's jump down to verse 11. He that loveth pureness of heart, for the grace of his lips, the king shall be his friend. Okay, so the Most High loves pureness of heart, all right? When you're keeping his ways, all right? Verse 12. The eyes of the Most High power preserve knowledge, and he overthroweth the words of the transgressor. Okay, who's the transgressor? The ones who's not believing in him, the ones who's not keeping his laws. Okay, your so-called religious churchgoers, the ones that tell you that the laws are done away with. We can live however we want and do whatever we want, right? The transgressors is the ones that's not keeping the seventh-day Sabbath. They want to work overtime on the job and make all of that money breaking the Sabbath, right? And which is a double whammy, because you're not supposed to even be dealing with money on the Sabbath. So let alone you're leaving your household breaking the Sabbath, right? Because you're supposed to be home studying, okay? Getting to know the Lord the most, more, all right? And then on top of that, you're dealing with money. You're working for hire. You're not supposed to be doing that, man, right? Now, just to say, the rest day, you know, in which the word Sabbath in itself, it means rest, okay? So really, that's what you're supposed to be doing, you know, just like the religious churchgoer, you know, every Sunday, they rest up. They don't go anywhere on Sundays, right? The only thing that they do is just lay up, watch TV or whatever. And then on top of that, if that's their Sabbath day, they're supposed to be reading the scriptures, right? And getting more familiar with the Most High's ways, okay? But they're not doing that. They're doing everything else but that, right? You know, besides going to religious church and listen to what a pastor tell them, which is a feel-good story, a prosperity doctrine, and then they go home and do whatever the hell they want to do, right? Some of them even have sexual intercourse on the Sabbath, right? On their Sabbath. Now, according to the scriptures, you're not supposed to be even doing that on the Sabbath, right? But you know, but this is what so-called followers of Christ do, right? But this is what the Most High says, man. Verse 11 again from the top. He that loveth pureness of heart, for the grace of his lips, the king shall be his friend, right? Verse 12. The eyes of the Most High power preserve knowledge, and he overthroweth the words of the transgressor. Okay, so you can be so-called holier than thou and make it seem like to the people that you're really a godly person. But a transgressor is a sinner. What is a sinner? The breaker of the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments, right? So you can tell people whatever you want and make it seem like you're holier than thou. But if you're a transgressor, which is a breaker of the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments, then the Most High is not dealing with you, man. This is why he says this again, verse 12. The eyes of the Lord preserveth knowledge, and he overthroweth the words of the transgressor, okay? So if you're a person of faith and you're listening to a sinner that's telling you to stockpile your food, work overtime, to build up that bankroll, right? All of that stuff is not going to save you in your day of calamity, man. It's not going to grant you salvation because you're hearing all of this from a transgressor, right? He's a worldly person. He's not even a spiritual person. Okay, so the Most High is not dealing with him, all right, or her, or even you if you choose to follow those ways, right? Let's jump down to verse 16, still in the book of Proverbs, chapter 22. And it reads, he that oppresseth the poor to increase his riches, and he that giveth to the rich shall surely come to want. Okay, so unfortunately, that's what's going on in this society today, right? Our people are being oppressed by the so-called rulers of this society, and they're taking from the poor and giving to the rich. That's the reason why you have the inflation going on, right? You got the gas prices raising up. You got the prices for milk and bread raising up. The prices for food raising up, right? Your rent's going up. Your mortgage going up, right? Verse 17. Bow down thy ear and hear the words of the wise. Okay, who's the wise? The ones who's keeping the law, statutes, commandments to the Most High. The ones who's doing the videos, sharing it with our people, sharing this wisdom and this knowledge and this discernment to our people, as I'm doing right now, right? Verse 17 again from the top. Bow down thy ear and hear the words of the wise, and apply thy heart, okay, which is your mind, onto my knowledge. What is the Most High's knowledge? These scriptures here, man, right? Verse 18. For it is a pleasant thing if thou keep them within thee, okay, within your mind, okay, which is these scriptures, right? They shall withal be fitted with thy lips, okay, or in thy lips, as it's written here, right? Verse 19. That thy trust may be in the what? And the Most High power, okay? I have made known to thee this day, even to thee, which is you, okay, verse 20. Have not I written to thee excellent things in counsels and knowledge, okay, which is these scriptures here once again, right, verse 21. That I might make thee know the certainty of the words of truth, okay, what's the truth? These scriptures here, right? That thou mightest answer the words of truth to them that send unto thee. Okay, so for the people who the Most High send to us for the wisdom and knowledge and the truth of these scriptures, man, this is what you should spew out to them, right? Tell them, don't worry about stockpiling your garage. Don't worry about, working extra hours